Hello all, it's time for Genshin. I hope you're well. Now back to Genshin tonight. We got the Genshin events to do that we didn't do last week. We're not far away from seeing that probably in a couple of days time we'll begin the live stream to find out about the next update. And I'm definitely saving all my promo gems and all my wishes till we get that crazy looking, you know, I'm gonna fire the model fireballs and the cool shades. But I do hope you guys are well. Computer's working again. I had to do a whole bunch of updates, so it was fun. Update my webhooks and everything. But good now. Okay, where's my chat box? One moment, my chat box is not there. Okay, that's odd. One moment. I have to grab from a different game, it's not there. Must have lost it from all the changes today. There we go, that's back there. There we go, chat box is back. I don't know where it went. Okay, one moment, something's wrong with my settings. Oh, God's sakes, the settings reset again. No, 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 you go back to Lois. Don't you do this again, stupid game. No, Lois. Computer, I've got you, computer. Computer, I got you, computer. You'll be okay. Why do you do this sometimes? Doing that. No, 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 why aren't you saving? We're good. Oh, that's looking better. No, that's not meant to be there. Why are you... Okay, we need to exit. Gotta relaunch the game to make it. Relaunch the game to save the settings properly. I hate it when it does that. Is it just sometimes after random updates it just completely forgets all its settings and goes, let's go max! I have to quickly change stuff before my bloody computer dies on me again. Come on, launch. Why is it not saving? For some reason that's not saving. We'll just have to go. Now let's get our dailies done, and then we've got events to do. The only thing I'm worried about the next update is the gimmick is literally each character is going to have a different dragon effects, otherwise it's collect them all to be able to do their effects. That's the thing I'm mostly worried about with the update. And it's like, oh, you're going to need all characters to do their special effects and their special amounts and their special everything, and I'm going, yeah, no thank you. So I've got to really hold back all my excitement and try and not wish on a character that I don't need. So right now the team I have now is really good. I can't wait to be done with Fonte's daily quests and finally be able to do the dragons. Oh, they killed himself.
Everyone hold hands.
Really, Rain, you had to end right then. Oh, I might as well just run up here. I don't know why she didn't get a ring
extra
around.
training? Don't blink. Nowhere to hide.
Still one of my favourite characters to use. Okay, let's do this Fizz War event. And then we've got another event. It's just mostly all events tonight. We haven't done them.
Thank you for add Astra.
Let's get this event done. Technically we've got 2 events, let's get the Fizz War done, we can just finish the whole thing today. Get it done in one whole stream. And then we get the other one done in one whole stream. It's Fizz War time! Damn it, I got a worse score that time. can't I get a 14? Okay, I'm starting to get it how I can knock those ones in. Okay, I'm starting to get it. There we go, now I'm starting to understand it. Okay. Okay, I gotta knock out 3 of them. Okay, I get it. No! Ah. Damn it, that knocked it into there. Fire! Oh, come on, it pushed it back into there. Free is better than none. That didn't do what I wanted to do. Oh, come on and knock them out. You're kidding me, I hit the bloody corner. I don't think I got 12. Hi, David. Yeah, I got all 4. No! There we go, that's something. I need 18, try again. Stay! Oh, too far out, try again. Is that enough? Yay. Oh, damn it. No, one came back in. There we go. good start. Haven't got any power on that. Damn it, no, that just stopped. But we'll try center right now and see if that we can pull them all in. Come on. It's not enough. But I understand what to do now. Damn it, not enough. But I'm getting better. There we go. Give me those sweet, sweet promo gems. More gems. What do I do with these coins? Oh, it's just getting the coins. Have I finished it? Don't tell me this is another combat one. I thought there'd be more to Finchball than that. Please don't make me do combat. Well, there's 243. 143 wishes. Yep, it's a combat one. I've got one round, but I actually don't care for the combat thing.
A bitter pill to swallow.
No, I'm actually not going to move for combat, I don't care. I don't actually care about it one bit. Let's do the story quest. Not sure if I had to do the story quest, so I'll be doing that. One minute, we're right back. Story quest time.
Told him to spray it with water to retain moisture before applying the film. You can't treat a glaze lily like a cactus. If Sanjay does does this again, the loss will have to come out of his food expenses.
I'll go talk to him. At this rate, he won't even be able to afford eating cacti for much longer.
Hey, Kainari!
Oh, it's you two. It's been a while. What brings you to Port Ormos?
We didn't have anything to do, and this place looked pretty lively, so we decided to stop by. But, what's with all the flowers around here?
Well, Port Ormos is currently organizing a flower exhibition. The exhibition includes flowers from every corner of the world, each with their own unique properties and needs. With that in mind, the curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar capable of retaining heat and moisture. Even so, an expert is still required to develop tailored transportation and care plans for each type of...
Oh, and that expert is...
Not this kind, no. I'm just here to help out. The expert in charge is someone else.
Mr. Tainari! Sanjay! He confused the poisonous bulbs with garlic shoots, and he ate them!
Never mind. Forget about what I said about the food expenses. Apologies, Traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got something to take care of.
Kainari's busy no matter where he is, huh? Yeah, seems like it. Hey, don't look at Paimon like that! Well, looks like Kainari might be busy for a while. Wow, look at these flowers! They smell so...
Huh?
Paimon! Hi...
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilia's? No wonder.
It's getting cute!
A moment of your time, you two? If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense. Think nothing of it. From your attire, I imagine you two aren't from Sumeru either. Seeing as we're both travelers from abroad, it's only right that we help.
Oh, so you're here for the flower exhibition?
I suppose that's accurate. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Emily, a perfumer from Fontaine.
Paimon, thank you so much for your help.
The traveler, right? I've heard a lot about you from the Steambird. It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
What happened back there? Why is Paimon sick?
Have you ever heard of hay fever? To put it simply, when inhaled, certain pollens can trigger abnormal physical reactions.
But Paimon has seen these kinds of flowers before and nothing...
Well, we're all different. The factors that can trigger a reaction to certain stimuli vary by person. In isolation, the effects of certain pollens may seem minimal, but inhaling various types at once can trigger a more... But there's no need to worry. Pollen allergies can be effectively mitigated with the use of medication.
Oh, well, that's good.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. I left in such a hurry, I forgot to warn you about all the pollen in the air. Emily? Ah, what a coincidence. Looks like my worry was misplaced then. The Traveler and Paimon are in good hands.
It was nothing, really. We happened to run into each other shortly after my arrival, and I'm more curious as to why you thought the Traveler and Paimon were in danger. Allergies are highly unpredictable. If you were concerned the pollen might trigger a reaction, that must mean something.
Remember the first time we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal. It's not really something you can make sense out of, Paimon. There are all kinds of allergies out there, caused by a variety of different factors. Some people are even allergic to almonds. It's not something you can generalize.
Exactly. I even encountered a case in Fontaine where someone had an allergic reaction to soba noodles their family brought back from New Zealand.
Whoa. Good thing Paimon isn't allergic to
In a manner of speaking. Although you could say the
In addition to medicine, Emily is also very knowledgeable about botany. She's taught me a lot about the native flora around Fontaine.
And that's where my expertise ends, I'm afraid. When it comes to breadth of knowledge, Tainari certainly comes out on top.
a flower expert? Oh, Paimon's got it! You must be the expert Tainari mentioned, the one in charge.
Wrong again, I'm afraid.
Well, I did come for the exhibition, but only to inquire about the Auguste variety. I'm not involved in any official capacity.
No, I was sure she got it right.
It's a kind of flower that was once popular in Fontaine. The perfume made from it also bears the same name, Auguste.
Auguste, huh? That's not an...
In an ancient language, the word is said to mean sacred or noble. It's sometimes used as a name for people as well. Ah, that reminds me. Are you familiar with a historical event in Fontaine known as Perfumania? Was an event that occurred in Fontaine nearly 20 years ago. It all started when several merchants released their own lines of high-end, expensive perfumes, marketing them as must-have luxury products, the very symbol of elegance itself. No one anticipated the absolute frenzy this would create on the market, causing the price of perfumes to skyrocket. The demand was twofold. What some saw as a status symbol, most saw as a money-making opportunity. You could take advantage of the soaring price by hoarding them and reselling at even higher margins. The value of these products became so inflated, regular bottles of perfume were even going for hundreds of thousands of more. This resulted in countless disputes and scandals. But at the end of the day, perfume is just perfume. The market value greatly exceeded the intrinsic worth of the product, creating an economic bubble that was never going to last. Luckily, the Palais Mermonia recognized the danger and intervened before the craze could truly spread. Many profiteers and scammers were thrown in jail as a result. In the end, only a few wealthy families were affected when the bubble popped.
What does all this have to do with that Auguste you mentioned earlier?
Maybe I'm seeing my osteopath tomorrow.
Well, during the craze, the most popular perfume was none other than Auguste. The demand far exceeded the supply, to the point where it once sold for 10 million more a bottle.
10 million?
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to a normal price. Auguste was the only exception. Its namesake, the flower used to create it, went extinct. As a result, no new bottles of Auguste have been made, and the value of the perfume remains exceeding. Indeed, the Auguste flower was not a natural variety, you see. It was specially cultivated for use in perfume making. When the bubble popped, all the flower beds used for its cultivation were destroyed in a fire. The variety has never been seen since.
But didn't you say you came to the exhibition?
Ah, yes. I came to investigate a certain rumor that the Auguste flower has reoccurred in Sumeria. It's causing quite the stir in the Fontaine perfume market.
Traveler, we should help Emily look for it.
I have to agree. Emily wrote me to ask if I could look into the rumor. But the forest rangers haven't received any reports of new plant species recently.
Even if I can locate the flower, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed, Paimon. I don't have any grand Mora-making endeavors planned. Divine, noble, one of a kind. All beautiful sentiments to be sure. But to me, they overshadow the very essence. When it comes to perfume, I want people to forget the price and the prestige and focus on the...
Wow, so
Of course, there's also a more practical reason. In recent years, low-grade counterfeit versions of Auguste have been popping up on the Fontaine perfume. Every so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of Auguste, and the rumor mill will start comparing the counterfeits to my own work.
okay, that's more like the reason Paimon had.
Ever since that rumor started, 3 new perfumes claiming to be made from the Auguste flower have appeared. If I can dispel the fanaticism surrounding Auguste, even just by proving the rumor to be false, Fontaine's perfume market can finally start to get back to normal. Then I'll be free from all the stories and added meaning and just focus on making what I like.
That makes sense.
Oh, I would of course be grateful for your help, but I would...
Well, you said it yourself. We're both travelers from abroad, so
the information I have so far, it's unclear if the rumor is true. Mr. Edgar also thinks it's too early to say. But you could always go talk to him. He was there all those years ago, after all. Maybe he'll know something.
Ah, I was just about to pay him a visit at the hotel.
Edgar?
The person you've been trying to guess this whole time. The flower expert in charge of the exhibition. He's also the most respected and experienced perfumer in the area. Back when he was still working in Fontaine, Auguste was his creation.
I should also mention, he was my teacher, the one who taught me the basics of perfumery when I apprenticed in...
So this guy was a famous perfumer in Fontaine, but then...
It's a long story. If you're interested, we can talk more about it when we see him. He should be staying near the hotel.
Oh, look at all the flowers!
Apparently, the exhibitor paid a large sum to rent out the hotel and surrounding buildings. They're being used as temporary storage facilities and lodging.
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't have anywhere to stay. Also, renting out this big of a hotel, how are they gonna make that more?
It's been so long, I almost didn't recognize you, Edgar.
Well, you and your brother haven't changed a bit.
Oh, yeah, all this catching up is nice and all, but let's get down to business. We need to talk about Kyria. Is he...
Oh, hold on. We have guests.
It's nice to see you again, Master.
Emily? Is that you? Oh, it's been years. Look at you. You're all grown up. I heard you've become quite the famous perfumer in Fontaine. It would seem the student has surpassed the master.
Oh, well, it's all thanks to your mentorship.
Ah, hardly. I taught you the basics. Hearing you call me master, well, I'm not sure I've taught many students here in Sumeru over the years, but I've yet to see one turn out quite as accomplished as you. You're the only one who can take credit for that success. And who are these two? I don't recall you.
Ah, they're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Emily's friend. Well then, the pleasure.
And these two gentlemen? Are they friends of yours, Master?
Of course. I'm Ood, and this here is my younger brother, Blaze. Edgar and the two of us are old.
yes.
Merchant Brothers?
You must be here to look for the August flower then.
Well, what respectable perfume merchant hasn't heard of it?
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason, Emily. We were just about to get into it, so you three might as well join in. I commissioned a few Eremites to do some scouting for me. They searched all over Sumeru, but there were no sightings of the August flower. That being said, there are people in Port Ormos who claim to have smelled a unique fragrance on the streets. Definitely floral, but still distinct. Some of them were merchants who lived in Fontaine 20 years ago. According to them, the fragrance smelled exactly like the Auguste they remember from back then. A one-of-a-kind, divine, and noble scent.
Someone around here just happened to have a bottle of August from back then.
No, I don't think so. I doubt that's the case. Even if someone had a bottle that was never opened, the fragrance of the perfume would have changed over time. Very few perfumes can go decades without a change in scent. Auguste is even more prone to that kind of shift. Only a few bottles still exist in Fontaine, and their scent would have completely degraded by now. Although, could there be a flower out there with a similar fragrance? Or an accord with the same base notes?
Impossible. If a goose were that easy to replicate, it would never have sold for such a high price all those years ago. The goose flower's back. It has to be.
Technically speaking, the scent wouldn't be impossible to imitate.
Well, let's table that question for now. Edgar, did any of those people mention where the scent was coming from?
No. By the time they realized they had smelled something, the scent was already gone. If I hadn't asked about it, they probably wouldn't have given the experience a second thought. Compared to things we see and hear, smells can be much easier to overlook.
It almost sounds like someone wearing their goose fragrance passed them on the street.
What are you saying?
Just thinking out loud.
We don't have much to go off of right now, but we can't rule out that possibility. I'll send some more people to investigate. You all traveled so far to meet me. Why don't you rest in the hotel for a bit? Blaze, this is the key to your room.
Oh, you've got the key to the room? Can we get...
My apologies. All the rooms in the hotel are accounted for, I'm afraid. Most are being used for storage. I managed to tidy up one of the rooms for these two at the last minute. But by the time Emily wrote to me, there was no more space left for her to stay.
Oh, and we just showed up out of the blue.
I should have been more considerate. Here I am with an entire hotel at my disposal and no place to offer you to stay. Even after you made the trip all the way to Sumeru.
Don't worry, Master. I can sleep on the boat tonight. Or I could even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity to collect some plants. Even better. Although, would it be possible for me to leave some of my luggage here? It would be rather cumbersome to...
Well,
Of course, no trouble at all.
all right then. Oud, I'll prepare some refreshment. I'm sorry I couldn't offer you a room.
It's all right, Master. I know it was sudden.
I'll be sure to make it up to you with...
Wait, we can enter the hotel for once. Yay! Been wanting into this building for a long time.
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. First I took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers. Looks like there's
No, that's we work closely with the essential oils of various plants. But to maintain a sharp sense of smell, most perfumers prefer to keep their homes free of strong odors.
Oh, guess there's just too much to store for the exhibition then.
Oh, this room seems to be a connected suite. And my brother will be staying on the other side of the suite. Blaze, while you're out, why don't you bring our luggage over as well? Blake!
Yes, of course.
All right then. Where can we find your luggage, mademoiselle? Blaze will go fetch it for you.
It's still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back from Fontaine. Could I trouble you to bring that back as well? It would be the perfect...
How generous. I should thank you on my brother's behalf. You stumbled upon his weakness. He's aloof about most things, but alcohol is his one true love.
Is that so? Mr. Ood, Mr. Blaze, thanks.
What are you doing?
It's Master's voice. don't shake him. He's injured. Just leave him to me. You two can... Oh, thank you.
Who did that?
Skin is flushed, pupils are dilated, but he's still breathing.
That strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle? Oh, really? You think so? Do you think whoever did this was hiding in the flowers before? Hmm.
I checked. It doesn't look like anyone passed through here.
That's impossible. It's not like that kid can just grow some rooms and... the culprit, I mean. It's not like the culprit could have...
Well, we looked all over, but the only clue we found was that bottle.
The most important thing we can do now is focus our efforts on treating Master.
So, how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue in his nose and mouth. Master was most likely forced to ingest a certain liquid. He's still unconscious, and inducing vomiting could obstruct his airways. We'll have to look into other clues for now. Ah, yes. The scent is the same, but the chemical composition is still unclear. We'll have to do further tests to determine if it's the same liquid and how toxic. But first, I do believe there are two people who could Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucien.
Wait, you know...
Hey! Were you talking to us, mademoiselle?
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators of a ghost. There were 4 people in total. The perfumer, Edgar, the one thrust into the limelight, and a researcher from Sumeru responsible for cultivating the Auguste flower, and 2 merchant brothers responsible for promoting the product. The 2 brothers capitalized on the mythos surrounding Auguste. Their actions lured in numerous speculators, and in the end, they were sent to the fortress of Meripede for falsifying their accounts and destabilizing the market. If you do the math,
And what does that have to do with us? There are countless merchant families.
every time your brother called you Blaze, it took you several seconds to respond. But when I called you Lucien just now, the name registered immediately.
Ah, Miss Emily. At a risk, you have a bright future ahead of you. You wouldn't want to develop a reputation.
You claim to be regular perfume merchants, and yet, when I brought up amber wine, you took it to be alcohol.
What?
Amber wine is a perfume I created several years ago. It wasn't particularly renowned, but I'm certain any respectable perfume merchant in Fontaine would know of it. Unless, recently, they were living somewhere completely cut off from the perfume world. Somewhere like...
Emily, you little...
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't bring this up to criticize you. No matter what happened all those years ago, the court has already passed its judgment, but Master's life is in danger. We need to learn whatever we can about the person who has done this. If Master's attack had something to do with Auguste, I would imagine the 2 of you might also be in danger. So I'd like to trouble you for some information, if I may. Tell me about Kyria.
Fine. As you wish.
Sylvain?
Lucien, if this will help us find Kyria, then it will be all worth it. Besides, we've already told most of the stuff the Maison Aurelie and you. right, Miss Emily. There were 4 of us at the beginning. Myself, Lucian, Edgar, and the researcher from Sumeru in charge of flower cultivation, Bijava. Sometime down the road, the Mara Chaussee Phantom came knocking. Saddled us with a list of accusations and started looking into our books. They did their meddling, and my brother Edgar and I were forced to serve time in the fortress.
Wait, then how did Edgar end up in Sumeru?
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru so that he could put those events behind him. Still, Master was depressed for a long time after that. He stopped making new perfumes and focused on introducing students to the craft instead. That's how I met him. My parents had a relocate to Sumeru for work when I was a child, so I had the chance to study under him for a little while. But we can talk about that some other time. I want to hear more about this researcher, Vijava.
Like us, Bijava was also staring down an investigation from the Mara show. But before the Phantom showed up at her door, she set all the flower beds on fire, along with much of the mora we managed to earn. All the Auguste flowers, everything we worked to create, was...
But destroying all that evidence, wouldn't that make things worse for her?
It didn't matter at that point, because she died in the fire as well.
What?
Sounds like you did an investigation of your own. Why even ask us if you knew all of this already?
The name wasn't mentioned in any of the files I reviewed either. But you two seem quite familiar with him.
Tell.
Kyria was Bijava's younger brother. He was just a clueless kid back then. Somewhere in his teens, I think. He helped his sister with her work sometimes, but that was pretty much it. He didn't have any idea what we were doing. Bijava kept him close most of the time. The 3 of us were probably the only ones who even knew she had a brother. After our operation was compromised, he disappeared. There were no signs of him until recently, when people started saying the end.
So, you think Kyria took something with him back then? Something that allowed him to reproduce the Auguste line?
Bijava doted on the kid like you wouldn't believe. She even told us to give her cut to her brother if anything happened to her. If she left something behind before she died, believe me, Kyria's the one that has it.
And judging by the liquid in that bottle, the Auguste flower wasn't the only thing he reproduced. He managed to replicate the perfume itself.
So the liquid Edgar was forced to ingest really was Auguste. Wait, does that mean Auguste is poison?
Poison? No. Of course not. No perfume is meant to be ingested. Even small amounts can be dangerous, let alone ingesting a whole bottle at once. If Auguste could be considered a poison, we wouldn't have even sold half a bottle back then. Edgar fell unconscious because Kyria forced him to drink perfume. It just happened to be Auguste. He probably thought we had something to do with his sister's death. But to tell you the truth, I have no idea why she did all that. We're not looking for Kyria because we have it out for him. We just wanted to see what he was doing. And if possible, work together to bring back Auguste.
He's lying. You can tell.
We only went to prison for a bit of fraud and market manipulation. It had nothing to do with the product itself. As long as we keep things honest this time around,
So that's why you never mentioned Kyria during your interrogation?
Yes, exactly. We were just looking out for the kid.
Anyway, that's all we know.
Well, at least we're able to say for certain that the subs...
Well, glad to hear it. Lucian, let's head back to the room and rest a bit. With everything that's happened.
Yes, of course.
Huh, you think so too? But based on Sylvain's tone of voice just now...
The way you exposed him like that? Just, oh, right.
Oh yes, that's because most of the patients I encounter are already dead.
So you're a forensic doctor?
Close. I'm actually a forensic cleaner. Once the forensic team and the Marachese Phantom are done collecting evidence from the scene, I'm in charge of clearing away the final traces my patients leave on the world. In fact, with just a small alteration to the formula, the same tincture used as the base of perfume can also be made into a cleaning agent. Basically, there are two sides to forensics. Those who collect evidence to expose the truth. I've learned a lot in my line of work, and I've witnessed a lot of death. But this time, we may still save the patient. Actually, Traveler, could I trouble you to report back to Tanari and the apostate here and continue to look after Master? Now that we have a sample of produced, I'm putting further analysis.
Let's go.
Master looks a lot older than when I last saw him.
Tanari, we need help.
Whoa, why the rush? Did something happen?
What? Edgar was attacked. He's the most famous perfumer in the region. Someone who's helped countless...
Sheriff, have you received any reports of a suspicious...
No, but we've got eyes all over the area. I'll start gathering my forces.
What about you, Tanari?
I'm sure the sheriff can handle things over at the scene, and
But she said she's not a real doctor.
then she was far too modest. She may not be a doctor by trade, but she has a deeper understanding of human anatomy, not to mention the fact that Mr. Edgar's condition is related to perfume. As for me, I'll head to the academia and see what I can learn about Vijava and Kira.
Oh, that's right. Vijava was supposed to be a scholar
From Emily's letter, certainly, but that was the first time I'd heard of it. The academia produces a... I didn't have time to look into it earlier, but now it seems like Vijava's... I have friends in Sumeru City that can help me investigate. I'll leave you and Emily to watch over things.
Oh, today's been one of those days.
Well,
Things just don't want to be going my way lately.
but things weren't looking good with Emily's master yesterday. We should check on things at the hotel first. Emily!
No longer in critical condition, thankfully. He's still very weak. My chemical analysis of a goose also went smoothly. Oh, look, I was able to identify the components that give the substance its fragrance. But I also noticed an
Elemental energy?
hard to say. It was such a minute amount, proportionally speaking, like mixing a single drop of perfume into the ocean. I had to use one of the newest tests developed in recent years to even detect the trace. Unless you were abnormally sensitive to elemental energy, I doubt it would have any effect, even if you use the product every day for 10 years. As for whether Master's condition was caused by the elemental energy present in the sample or...
Oh, that reminds Paimon. Did Tainari
I received a message from him last night, but I haven't heard anything since. The message said he was looking into some information at the Academia.
Oh, I thought he might have stopped by to see you first. Excuse me? Is Miss Emily here? Oh, perfect! Familiar faces! Traveler, Paimon, you're here too!
Scully!
Oh, of course. Tainari's apprentice. He's mentioned you many times. And please, no need for formalities. Emily is just fine.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you too. Emily. Did Tainari send you here, Kai? Yep. Master and the others went through decades worth of records last night, and still haven't had a chance to rest. I'm fast on my feet, so it only made sense for me to come and give you an update. Anyway, based on what they've reviewed so far, they believe there's no indication that a researcher by the name of Java ever passed through the Academia. Master considered that possibility as well, but the name wasn't the only dead end. Master tried to track down people with a similar research direction or background, but how is that possible?
It's starting to seem very likely. If we want to figure out her true identity, I'm afraid another conversation.
Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Kirio came back?
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel. It's locked?
There's no one here.
Lucian! Come on! Emily! My brother.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain. You have two this time.
No, that's not possible.
Traveler, Kale, Mr. Sylvain has gone through a huge shock. He needs some space to calm down. Could one of you take him next door? It's not good for him to look at his brother's body like this.
Of course. Leave it to me.
Thank you both. Mr. Sylvain, let's get you up. Here, take my hand. Nice and slow. We'll take things from here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
Poor guy. He's like a shell of his former self. He may have made some bad decisions in life, but right now, Paimon can't help but feel sorry for him.
Good person or bad, the death of a loved one is equally painful. All the moments he shared with his brother, every hardship and triumph they endured together.
If Kirio really was behind this, then what exactly did he do to Lucian?
Lucian can no longer speak, but the traces left behind by his death most certainly can. Traveler, I've got things covered here at the scene. I'll leave you to contact the sheriff.
Who would have thought? Yesterday's case is still up in the air. Now this happens. Miss Emily, I heard you're an experienced forensic doctor. Have you been able to discover anything?
Oh, I'm not actually a forensic doctor. I just happen to have some relevant knowledge. I did take a look, though. Judging by the temperature and rigidity of the body, it appears the time of death was sometime last night. I'd have to do a more thorough investigation to find out more.
Then, would you mind helping us investigate? Before he left, Tainari said we could trust your judgment if something like this were to happen.
Of course, I appreciate your trust. Many of the traces left behind at the scene will fade with time, so the sooner we investigate, the better.
We're all cute. We don't know much about dead bodies, but you can leave the other clues to us.
Pupils are dilated, skin is flushed.
To tell you the truth, the exhibition has left us quite short-handed.
And the windows are shut tight too. Seems like the only way to get in would have been through Sylvain's room. Well, looks like...
So, did you find anything?
Paimon can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
But entering through the room next door without alerting Sylvain... Wait,
No, his reaction to the loss of his brother seemed genuine, and he doesn't have a motive.
then what could have happened last night? I know Sylvain is still in shock, but...
I agree. Also, I've made some new discoveries, so we might as well head next door and go through.
Perfume. Unsent.
Mr. Sylvain, I need you to tell me everything you and your brother did since yesterday afternoon.
After Kyria attacked Eggman, my brother and I were incredibly careful. We returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors leading to the hallway. The only door we kept unlocked was the one connecting our rooms. That way, if we heard any commotion coming from the other room, but I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise. I woke up this morning, opened the door, and Lucian.
So, no movement from the room next door. No forced no signs of a struggle at the scene, and no external injury on...
I did notice a few things about the body. Lucian's pupils were dilated, and his skin was flushed. Very similar to Master's symptoms after the attack yesterday. There weren't any traces of liquid in his mouth or nose, so it's unlikely he was forced to ingest anything. The more plausible explanation is that he inhaled a substance without knowing it. And I'd say that substance was likely
A goose? No, that's not possible. Inhaling a goose would kill you. And anyway, it would have... No. Emily, you ran your tests, didn't you?
No, I didn't find any common thoughts.
See? A goose is...
That may be true for most people, but not for everyone.
Master!
even if we could keep it a secret for another 10 or 20 years, do you think Kiria would just let us be? No. He would never give up. That's Vijava's real name. Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru. She was an exiled Fatus from Snezhnaya.
The Fatus?
The Fatui. Well, that means the elemental energy present in Auguste was...
Ah, so you've already detected it. Well, the Auguste flower was created with the mutative and distorting power of a delusion.
The Fatui, delusions...
Born of a delusion, Auguste contained distorted elemental energy. A prolonged exposure over many years could have a harmful effect on the body.
That's enough, Edgar. At first, Yelena wanted to keep refining the perfume and the flower. But no one knew how long the perfume mania was going to last back then. It didn't have any effect on ordinary people anyway. Every day we postponed going to market was another day of lost earning potential.
So you decided poisoning people was worth the risk?
Listen, it's not like it was good for business. But all that talk about Auguste being harmful over time, Yelena was just speculating. The impact was practically negligible. Unless you were particularly sensitive to elemental energy or had an entire bottle shoved down your throat like Edgar. You could use the product for decades and be completely fine.
It may be true there are no records of Auguste poisoning, but even if no one was acutely poisoned, willfully bringing a product to market despite explicit knowledge... That explains why you were so intent on keeping Yelena and Kiria's involvement a secret all this time. Despite readily confessing Tui, delusions, Auguste, if the Marechaussee Phantom discovered the connection between the three, there would have been enough evidence to send you to the Fortress of Meripede for life.
Ha! If I'd known coming to Sumeru would put a target on my back, I would have been more than happy to stay there. All these years without any sign of Kiria, and he pops up out of nowhere the minute my brother and I get out of prison? Auguste was harmless before. The fact that it's killing people all of a sudden must be his doing as well.
So there's bad blood between you.
What about Yelena's death? Was that a cover-up too?
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point. We took care to disguise the product circulating on the market, and no one was questioning Yelena's fake life. But if the Marechaussee Phantom decided to look into the flower beds, it would have been the end. Yelena's ties to the Fatui, the role of the people who put our plan in motion, Yelena beat us to it. She burned all her flower beds and threw herself into the fire as well.
But if her goal was to destroy evidence, yeah, she could have just burned the flower beds and put...
I thought about it for a long time, but it wasn't until just now that I finally... Everything she did. It was... One of the reasons they defected from the Fatui was the deterioration of Yelena's body due to her excessive use of a delusion. She didn't want her brother to follow in her footsteps after her death. After arriving in Fontaine, Yelena continued using the delusion to cultivate the Auguste flower, weakening her body even further. There were times when she couldn't even walk.
So she couldn't flee with her brother because she was afraid of holding him back.
If her true identity was exposed, she and her brother would face pressure from both Snezhnaya and Fontaine. The Auguste flower and Yelena's own corroded body both bore the mark of a delusion. There would have been no way to avoid suspicion. So, in the end, she burnt it all to ash, including herself. With all the evidence erased, Kiria was free to take the Mora and run.
So the wealth you earned from a boost, it wasn't destroyed in a fight.
Most likely. Before Yelena died, she said if anything happened to her, she was going to leave everything to her brother. We just didn't realize she meant our cut as well. That's why Lucian and I were searching for Kyria, to take back Armora and the Auguste flower. I just didn't realize Kyria was baiting us the whole time.
But why is Kyria out for revenge anyway?
I don't think he knew his sister was nearing death. Yelena always wore heavy makeup around him to conceal her deteriorating appearance. She kept herself busy with work to keep out of sight. That way.
Then all we have to do is tell Kyria we're really... I'm not so sure. Even if he knew the truth, he'd still find someone to blame. He might think Yelena was forced into using a delusion to cultivate a goose. Or it's hard to pull yourself out of that kind of hatred. Especially when you've been...
Very true. Even if Yelena's death was her own choice, I wouldn't call myself innocent either.
Edgar!
Think about it, Sylvain. If we hadn't been in such a hurry to capitalize on the perfume mania all those years ago, do you think Yelena would have elected if we hadn't been so blinded by greed, so insistent on increasing the scale of the flower cultivation? Do you think Yelena's help if we hadn't invited the Marechaussee Phantom to our doorstep by breaking the law at every turn?
She knew her limits. She knew her days were numbered. Maybe it was for her brother, but she was in it for the Mora just as much as us. We were just trying to earn a bit of moral. And what, we deserve to die for that? Target me for being the mastermind, sure. But what about Lucian? He was just following my orders. Lucian's crime. Was it really so extreme that he had to pay for it with his life? Fine. I've said my piece anyway. Drag me back to Fontaine to stand trial. I don't care.
3 people from Fontaine, 1 from Snezhnaya, and a crime committed in Port Ormos. Well, we can only wait until the Academia sends someone to deal with it. I'm guessing we'll have to contact Fontaine as well. In any case, we won't really know. With the exhibition, we don't even have space in Port Ormos.
The hotel could suffice. You could station although with Sylvain's mental state and my physical one.
Mr. Edgar, are you saying...
If Sylvain is to stand trial, then I'd just like to take care of a few things before... As for Sylvain, I'm sure he also... Would you be willing to grant that request?
Well, all right. I'll talk to the man we grew to know in Sumeru, prove himself to be a good person.
You have my thanks, Sheriff.
Happened tonight? Oh, you mean the
Yeah! All we know is that it uses the goose to poison people. But we still have no idea how to... If he turns into Sylvain or Edgar again, we might not be able to stop him.
That may be true. But what if we take advantage of this situation and lure it?
Master, no. That's...
So, if Kyria learns we're being taken away tomorrow, his last chance to... In other words, you want to use...
Capture? Not necessarily. I just want to talk. What?
Afraid? I'm spending the rest of my life in prison anyway. I can't just sit back and let him ride off into the sunset with our fortune. There's no way I'm... As for the danger, everyone else just needs to make preparations in advance to protect us.
I'll admit, it could work. We just need to spread the... And I'll station some of my men around the hotel. If we had...
I still have some reservations.
I'll also keep...
Although I think Sylvain and myself should remain alone in our respective room. If Kyria noticed another person in the room, he might decide to turn back. And besides...
You mean if he doesn't see a way to get handle the two of you, he might get so desperate that he'll just start using a goose on everybody?
If that were to happen, everyone's standing guard. Even the...
That's why everyone else needs to keep to the shadows.
You're still recovering. You need to rest.
This whole...
All right, we can figure out a plan to...
Have you heard? Mr. Edgar's been detained. He's being taken away tomorrow.
What? He's the one who helped craft all the fragrances for our shop.
He taught my child how to make perfume. How could this happen?
He hasn't been convicted yet. Let's just wait and see what the court has to say.
Oh, everyone on the street is talking about the rumors. No matter where, let's head back to the hotel and take a break. We can see how the other purple...
Oh, another recipe I forgot. Never noticed this before. Nice, I'll stock up for the next area. I don't know what areas will open up in the next area. I'll also go do the character test trial before I forget.
Emily! Sheriff Xiao wants to talk.
Thank you, Colette. But first, here, I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. Why don't you have...
Oh, that's very...
Oh, it's not good.
was...
You seem very preoccupied with Kiria's revenge.
Oh, Hey, Emily! Holly? Oh, are we interrupting? No, not at all. This will be easier to talk through with you here anyway. I've just been thinking. If Kiria has the capacity to commit murder while remaining completely undetected, why did there was just a single door separating them? If his intention was to target both brothers, when I accompanied Sylvain to his room after Lucien died, I saw how distraught he was. Maybe Kiria did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain to experience the pain of losing a loved one before he completed his ultimate revenge. So did he attack Edgar as a warning then? To scare Sylvain and Lucien?
Based on what we've heard about Kiria, that may very well...
Losing his sister all those years ago. Whenever I kept to thinking like that, I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't think like that. Not after...
There's nothing wrong with the way you're feeling. Empathy is a part of human nature. In all my years of cleaning up crime scenes, I've witnessed countless families, and some of them even try to stop me, begging me not to erase the last remnants of their loved ones. But getting swept up in those emotions will corrupt your judgment. Surround yourself with fragrance for too long, and your sense of smell will become dull. Allow yourself to be consumed by your emotions, and you lose the ability to think rationally. So while you hold on to that sense of empathy, you also need to ask yourself, Do Sylvain and Lucien really deserve to die? How much did they truly know about the Fatui and the delusion? Did they force Yelena to make those decisions? Answering those questions requires a lot of time and effort. I've witnessed a lot of deaths in Fontaine. But generally speaking, death...
Once you can see what you take, it will become...
You're right. But that also makes us perfect. I understand Kiri's decision.
Emily, Traveler. Huh? Edgar.
Oh, it's you two. Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really okay for you to be...
Besides, I don't have much time left in Sumeru. So I'd like to
We could do that for you, Master.
No need. I've grown attached to these flowers. I would imagine Sheriff Sham is here for a more...
the Night Watch. You mentioned Earth...
That's right. I've stationed some of my men around the surrounding... Exactly. After some discussion, we concluded that Sylvain has the highest risk of being attacked next. And Emily's expertise is sure to come in handy in a pinch.
Sounds perfectly reasonable.
My men and I will be stationed nearby to
I'll head into the mountains to keep an eye on everyone coming in and out of the...
Come to station.
Not a peep. Has Kirya given up on his revenge? Guess what? Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Perhaps Kiri's true motive was simply forcing Sylvain to confirm. That can't be right. If all he wanted was... There must be something we missed.
Maybe you just need to calm down a little. How about... You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then. Like, oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Flowers, glazed... Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Wait, what?
Hey, did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
It was the older of the Merchant brothers, right?
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain. Poor guy was murdered in cold blood.
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Mason.
Listen up, everyone. This is an active crime scene. Please, no loitering.
It's been 3 days and they haven't even caught a glimpse of the guy.
Do you think it could be the work of an evil... I mean, how do you get away with something like that with...
Keep it moving, everyone. No loitering.
It's the flowers.
I suppose I'm next.
You don't know that. Kirya already attacked you once, and you survived. Perhaps he doesn't consider your crime to be worthy of death.
You were the only reason I managed to survive, Emily. I never did thank you for that.
Even if I wasn't there, Tainari was also in the vicinity.
Is that so? I suppose I have exceptional students, but Kyria has nothing. Yelena, it really makes you wonder if there's even...
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kirya himself. Once we...
Well, Emily, there's something else. But so many flowers were transported here for the show. Some of them thousands of miles away from their homeland. I can't let them wither away. Whether Kyria gets to me first, or I'm sent back to Fontaine to stand. I know it's a lot to ask.
Of course, Master.
Really? Now I truly...
Sheriff Sham still has some questions for me, so...
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting.
I'm sorry, Master.
Oh, but Kali still looks quite worried. Let's go tackle her. Oh, but Kali still looks... Another all-nighter. I'm unsure how Emily's going. Emily still isn't back. I hope... Yeah, that's...
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. The crowd is gone now, too. But after listening to Emily's plan, I started getting materials together and arranging for... To be honest, I'm still not sure.
The key clue was right in front of us the entire time! Let's go! We'll show you where the culprit hid the goose.
Glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before. The flower...
Well, did you know it only blooms at night?
Emily, you're back!
Exactly as expected.
A flower that only blooms at night. Ah, like the Neelit Palo lotus.
Exactly. Although the Neelit Palo lotus wouldn't be a good substitute in this scenario. When it's closed, the gaps between the petals are too large. That's why Kyria chose the glaze lily as his mechanism. He would start by preparing an Agoose sample. If poured into the flower pot, the liquid would seep into the soil. That might prevent the substance from taking effect. If applied to the outside, there's a sticky substance on the edge of the flower petals. If you stick the petals together with slime condensate, then in the daytime, the glaze lily would act almost like a hidden container. That's right! He applied a diluted form of slime condensate to their petals to stick them together, and enclosed a sample of Agoose in the center. That way, the Agoose would remain trapped inside during the daytime, unable to seep between the petals and evaporate into the air. This also allowed the culprit to plant the poison well in advance, while his targets remained oblivious. However, the diluted slime condensate wouldn't be viscous enough to prevent the petals of the glaze lily from opening at night. So by nightfall, the flower would bloom, thereby forcing the target to inhale the Agoose trapped in it.
And Kyria could execute his revenge without having to step foot inside the room during the night.
By the next morning, the sample of Agoose would have nearly fully evaporated. The glaze lily would have already closed its petals, and any lingering odor would be concealed by the fragrance of the other flowers in the room.
Wait a second. You're telling me this version of a goose is so toxic, inhaling the minute amount trapped inside a flower is enough to kill a grown man? And how did Edgar even survive ingesting a whole bottle of the stuff?
That's because a goose is just as dangerous now as it was all those years ago. The level of toxicity has never changed. Only a small subset of people are truly at risk.
Ah, you mean people who are sensitive to elemental energy? So it's just some sort of happy coincidence? That can't be right. They were involved in the operation all those years ago.
I wouldn't use the word allergic necessarily. It's more like they're susceptible to its effects. But that distinction isn't important right now. You can think of it this way. It's not that Sylvain and Lucy are innately sensitive to elemental energy, but that Kyria found a way to ensure that they would. In Fontaine, I experienced that drinking primordial seawater made me more attuned with the element of hydro. That substance would be hard to get. Incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar. Thinking back on it, in Sumeru, scholars use spirit borneal to aid meditation and stimulate their connection to the Dendro Archon. Alchemically produced essential oils, the primordial seawater that caused unrest in Fontaine not too long ago. All of those are substances.
That stuff gave us a lot of trouble when we first came to Sumeru. Ah, yes. I definitely remember that.
In Sumeru, it's not uncommon to use incense indoors, so its presence wouldn't arouse suspicion. The flowers in the room could also serve to mask the scent.
Flowers are pretty important to this plan, huh? The glazed lily is native to Liwa. It would be completely natural to have one here in Sumeru if it weren't for the exhibition. What a coincidence.
Actually, it's not a coincidence at all.
No wonder he was willing to pay a small fortune to rent out the hotel. He probably used the mora Yelena left him, don't you think? That money was supposed to set him free, but in the end, it was just a tool for his revenge.
There's a saying among forensic doctors in Fontaine. Every step you take leaves a mark. But up until this point, we haven't been able to detect any trace of Kyria's activities. That's not because he was coming and going undetected, or because he's some kind of, but because he's been disguised as someone else this entire time. Creating such an intricate mechanism out of a glaze lily, setting up the spirit borneal in a book, it all points to one person. The mora spent to rent out the hotel, it all points to... Kyria and Edgar are what?
But Kyria was only in his teens back then. He would even be 40 years old by now. Edgar's lived here for so many years. Even if he changed his appearance, going that long.
Bad news, Sheriff! Mr. Edgar was attacked!
What?
A dark shadow-like figure just ran out of his room. It was giving off a really ominous aura. But before we could even react, the figure up and disappeared like some sort of ghost or something. Why, do you think Kyria kidnapped him?
I need you to think very carefully about this. Are you certain that...
I mean, Mr. Edgar was so frail.
It would seem Master decided to tap into an ill-advised source of power.
What? That's so deep.
But why? Why would he do that?
No. If his aim was to target everyone who had a hand...
If he left Sylvain alive yesterday, not out of a desire to see him suffer, but
there's still...
The shadow-like figure ran in the direction of the yellow, and my partner immediately chased after them.
We should hurry before they're forced to confront each other.
A shadow-like figure with an... Sorry.
Stop right there!
something like that.
This is terrifying.
It's alright. I can detect a faint with. It's this way. Please, follow me.
I want the money. I will get the money. I don't know who you are, so you're not joining Royal, sorry. If I don't get this more now, I'll probably never get it. There's a shiny fish there that I need. Oh, hello. Could have another one of these in my collection.
You've got it! You got it! Well, you couldn't have done it without Paimon.
No, we always do it without you, Paimon. You're more like fish bait. Just gonna tie a hook to you and chuck you back in.
scent is getting stronger. This must be the place.
Here we go.
Are you alright? Were you attacked?
No, I'm alright.
Let me take a look. Yeah, definitely feels heavy. It smells nice, but for some reason, this feeling,
I think everything looks alright. It was probably just as stressful.
I can't rest. Mr. Edgar he's a good man.
O's, you need to calm down and listen to me. Edgar is the one we're after. He and Kiria are the same person.
But how is that possible? Mr. Edgar is 70-something.
That's precisely why he had to resort to extraordinary measures to aid. Kiria used a delusion to bring back the Auguste flower, corroding his body in the process, just like his older sister.
No. He couldn't have. Mr. Edgar has been in Port Ormos for years.
And what if the impersonation started before he ever set foot in Sumeru? I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Kiria killed the real Edgar in Fontaine not long after his release from prison. While Edgar was incarcerated, Kiria started making preparations to replace him, including forcefully aging his body, studying perfumery, and planning the real Edgar's demise. The new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous desire to let go of the past. He even left perfume making in favor of mentoring students. But these decisions were all for a specific purpose, the need to distance himself from anyone who might see through the facade. And Sumeru fit the bill to a T, with no one around to question his identity. All he had to do was grow a beard, don a pair of glasses, make a few minor alterations to his appearance, and everyone would believe he was exactly who he claimed. Edgar, a perfumer from Fontaine. As the years went by, he removed his disguise little by little and continued to refine his skills. It would have been a gradual process, one that ensured no one around him would notice anything unusual.
that explains why Sylvain said he barely recognized Edgar back at the hotel. He aged himself decades beyond his years just so he could accomplish his revenge.
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's not that kind of person.
What you really need is to get out of here and
No,
Wait! This environment is likely being influenced by the delusion. Any discomfort, no matter how slight, should not be treated lightly. I know how to relieve your symptoms, Mr. Ooze. I'm sure Kiria... No, Edgar wouldn't want any more innocent people implicated in all this.
Holly, the Traveler and I will take things from here. From our brief exposure to a goose, it would seem the substance has little effect on us. This leads me to believe those blessed with a vision or capable of wielding elemental power are more resistant to the effects of abnormal elemental energy. In other words, this environment doesn't pose as... Actually, now that I think about it, this stronghold, like... I hate to trouble you, but...
Thanks. Hear that?
Traveler, Emily, for someone who's only...
Don't worry. This isn't the... We're not going to let a goose kill...
Let's destroy him.
Neutralize!
Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy. I've never seen these seeds before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps we could try luring it to the edge of the cliff.
Stop right there!
Bet these mechanics you might see in the next region, because every time they do a story quest just before a new region, it always hinders to the next region.
To wither away in a foreign land. But Kyria betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his entire life for someone with nowhere to call home. Perhaps dying among a bed of Auguste flowers just like his sister is the best homecoming.
Don't blink!
Drop your weapons! Hands where I can see them!
Cut to the chase! Incoming! Hey! I see everything!
He is still the best.
The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end.
Did they catch up that fast? No. My strength is just waning.
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all those years ago in Fontaine. Yelena? Yelena! You tried to hide it from me, but the reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your garden on fire, I shouldn't have listened to you that day. You shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have come looking for you. I should have died with you that day. Yelena? Yelena! No! Don't leave me! Wait, Yelena!
I'm alive. No, that's not possible. I saw her.
That was an illusion, likely brought about by the residual toxin in your body coupled with the pollen in the air. Neither...
No. The amount of August I drank, it should have been enough. A fake.
We started making the preparations last night with one goal in mind, to create a perfect accord. The accord is the basis of perfume making,
the product in its most primitive form. Ambergris mixed with cedar wood, rounded out with a base note of agar wood.
This is the scent of leather?
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential oils from leather, but by combining other raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Does that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind. That quality is what draws people in and fuels their obsessions.
If I wear a goose to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind. Our competitor already got their hands on it. Hurry, Mom,
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better.
This fragrance will be one of a kind, no more. Myths can be deconstructed, miracles can be recreated. All it takes is skill, experience, limitless exploration, and a little patience. The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
Hyman took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emily?
I got it.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
Yes, Master.
So, you switched the bottles of Auguste, and then lied to me about Sylvain's death.
Convincing you that your revenge had been completed was the easiest way to get you to let down your guard.
Impossible. Even if you found a way to switch out the bottles, there's no way you could have made an accord. If Auguste was so easy to replicate, Yelena wouldn't have.
It was a combination of rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those ingredients would have conflicted with each other if you tried to combine them in the past. But recently, we found a way for them to work together.
Rainbow roses? Glaze?
Auguste was created over 10 years ago. All this time, people never stopped analyzing it, never stopped trying to recreate it. Perfumery techniques are advancing day by day. We've found better ways to extract essential oils, separate oils and fats. We even discovered the mythos surrounding a goose may have been untouchable almost 20 years ago, but now it's time for it to become
The past.
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always known that it is possible to make an accord, but the meaning you assigned to a goose became so inflated, you allowed yourself to get lost in it. Just like the perfume mania, you believed in its divinity and grandeur. You believed it was entire. Your obsession with the goose is also what allowed us to predict how you intended your plan to end, and to make preparations in advance.
We just didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Well, you hit the nail. So, since you've been preparing your accord since last night, that means the news of Sylvain's death. The crowd gathered outside the...
Yes. If we hadn't, you might have resorted to the delusion out of desperation, or continued to use your spirit Borneal and a goose
Who knows? Maybe I would have just offed my...
I know if you had things your way, you would carry the truth of Edgar's demise, and the secrets of this... Sylvain only inhaled a small amount of poison. He's being detained as we speak. All the crimes he concealed back then will be exposed in a court of...
Is that so? Well,
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fast.
I don't feel the need to justify. I did what I set out to do. I may have lost in the end, but it was my...
Careful, everyone.
Stick close. Hurry up.
Looks like I'm almost...
Of course, Master.
The combination you used to make...
The scent of a goose is complex and varied, yet the main ingredient consists of a single... So, as I was analyzing the sample yesterday, I got to thinking, what if...
You're saying Yelena designed Auguste to have the scent of multiple flowers?
Rainbow roses, glazed lilies, Cecilias... The perfumers of the past knew that if you combine their essential oils directly, they would just cancel each other out. It was a conundrum, but if you cultivate a new flower species that intrinsically carries the unique features of those three scents, you can bypass that issue entirely. It goes without saying that for that time.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those really do seem like flowers you would choose, Yelena.
Wow. Oh, let's leave.
Did you know? Miss Emily's releasing a... Right, I heard about that. I think it's called Yelena.
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume you released.
I was hoping to release it without such a fuss, but I just hope it won't become the source of some new... I did, although I made a few modifications to the formula to make the scent more pleasant and long-lasting. I actually brought a few samples with... Also, I was hoping you could try...
Of course! A good...
It's alright. Besides, when it comes to perfume...
Right! Do those flowers have some...
if I...
A language of flowers? Oh, we've heard of that before! I'm not...
What each flower is said to represent? After returning to Fontaine, I did some research. And it turns out the meanings of those forget the past and keep on living. Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena always...
You think Kiria knew about this?
I paid him a visit before his trial and explained what I found, but who knows? Maybe she didn't mean anything by it at all. That... Yelena is gone. We'll never know what she was thinking. We can look for meaning all we want, but it'll never be anything but conjecture. Even if that is what she was trying to say. Avenging her death? Kiria cultivated his revenge like a... In any case, thank you for saving my life. Love and hatred are when someone dies. But even if it's only a conjecture, the meaning we give to... And yet, at the very outset...
Well, that was a lovely story quest. Oh, I might as well do these test runs. And I think it's time for me to get some sleep. It's been a long day for me with my body.
Let's light it up! A little ambiance. Coming through.
Congratulations! Mighty mythical beast! Sorry, pal.
I'm going in.
Hey, what gives?
This will brighten up the place. Reconstitute.
Up to it, Manzai! Congratulations!
Extract. Fresh and floral. I was poorly prepared.
Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
This one is frozen.
Try not to enjoy this. Busted. Here comes the catch. Quietly now. Frostbite. Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
I'm good, I don't need any of those materials. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here, guys. It only does a particle effect. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up here. I'm gonna raid someone now. And get some sleep. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm gonna wrap it up here and get some sleep. Been a long day for me. Yeah, it's time for me to head to bed. I do appreciate you guys hanging out as always. This is best for my mental health streaming day. It keeps me going. We're gonna go and give someone some raid love now, and I'm gonna head to bed.
Let's get ready to rumble!
I appreciate hanging out as always. Stay safe, be awesome, look after each other. I appreciate hanging out. We're gonna find someone to raid, and I'm gonna go and get some sleep. Good night, guys.